Fox News alert, the FBI joins the investigation into the horrific shooting in broad daylight at a Midtown office in New York City last night. Police say the suspect, 27-year-old Shane Tamura, drove to New York City from Nevada and had a concealed carry permit there. And now 4 innocent people are dead, including NYPD officer Didral Islam, who was off duty at the time working security. For more, let's bring in former Assistant FBI Director Chris Swecker. Chris, you know this building, and it's one of the nicest buildings in New York City. What comes to mind as if I told you to start investigating this shooting?
Yeah, I mean, this building was typical, building security in New York City. A security desk. They got turnstiles. You check in at the desk. You get a badge. They probably take your picture. You go up to your floor unescorted. So it's okay security, but as a security specialist, I was head of security at Bank of America after I retired from the FBI. I believe that security has to be visible. If you're gonna use security as a deterrent from this sort of thing, and protection for the people inside the building, there's no sense having security inside if you don't have it outside.
Because you can't say that he stalked the building, surveilled the building, and saw weaknesses or strengths, because he double parked from Las Vegas. It seems like he drove straight through. He might have stopped somewhere. And then they say he walked through and just goes to the right, where he encountered the officer and people cowering. What about the makeup of a shooter that is that calm with this much pressure, knowing what he's about to do? How do you explain that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it looks like there may be some mental illness here, but it doesn't appear to me to be the kind of mental illness that would rule out a criminal prosecution, because this guy planned this. Obviously, he had a target. He drove 30 some odd hours, with an intent in his mind, and he had plenty of time during that drive to talk himself out of it, or to sort of lose that drive, if you will. And he didn't do it. And then he pulls into New York City, probably had, wanted to get there earlier, but probably got caught up in traffic. And he jumps right out of the car and gets right to it, and ambushes the off-duty officer in the lobby, and takes out the one threat to him immediately. So this guy has he has the ability to form the intent that's required for first-degree murder. Not that it matters at this point. There's some, we have some evidence of his motive from the letter that was in his car, but good gosh, I mean, this type of mental illness is the most dangerous kind, because they can act with purpose and almost, rationality. They can plan, but yet, obviously there's some type of mental illness involved here. Initially I thought, oh, gosh, this has to be terrorism. This is a suicide mission. He knows he's not coming back. He walks across the courtyard fully armed with a M4. He knows he's not going to come out of this alive, and that's sort of a hallmark of terrorism. But no, this appears that this is a simple case of mental illness. It's hard to get our rational minds around that.
Also, we know the medication. I'm sure they know the medication he has. Knowing you and the speed of these investigations, have they already gotten to Las Vegas, gotten to his house? Are they in the process of talking to people that knew him to see if he had talked to them about his plans?
No doubt about it. I mean, this is where the FBI comes in. They don't have the lead in this case. NYPD has it. They're very capable, but they don't have the global reach that the FBI does. And they would have pulled some people out of their beds in the middle of the night to get to the bottom of the story here. So they're talking to everyone, people, if he worked, where he worked, who he worked with, his friends and family. Anyone he might have associated with, any of his devices, if you will be exploited, the information extracted from it. They got analysts working on this right now through the night. This is all hands on deck type of thing. And I think they have a pretty good picture of what drove him to do this. It doesn't matter for prosecution purposes, obviously. And of course, they're looking to see if he got any assistance. Did somebody buy him the weapon? Did he share his plans with anyone? Could anyone have intervened or reported what he was up to?
Yep.
And usually there are red flags. I mean, in every one of these cases, there is a red flag of some kind, or multiple red flags.
Right. Instead of focusing maybe on the finance, maybe it's the NFL, because he does have a football background, and maybe there's frustration there. We're going to find out shortly. Chris, thanks for your instant analysis. Appreciate it.